back to part 2. So yes, I'm dressed exactly the same way, sitting in exactly the same place. These were filmed at the same time. But I did just want to keep going with part 2 of my surprise pregnancy. So, we found out, I told Anthony, he was just as surprised as I was, and it took us probably about 2-3 weeks to really get used to the idea. Now, when I went in for my first appointment, I was 8 weeks pregnant by my period, but by my history, I always end up being, or baby always ends up being smaller than what I'm projected because I ovulate later. I have gotten very used to it. All my first ultrasound appointments being told, oh, this baby's only 6 weeks, or this baby's only 5 weeks. I was not at all surprised when she turned the ultrasound on and said, this is not an 8-week baby. Okay, no, I was expecting that. Great, okay, what's the new due date? But instead, she said, you know, we're not gonna panic. I remember her saying that, and I was just like, oh no, what's wrong? I see the sac, but I don't see a fetal pole inside the sac. I didn't cry in the moment. I was destroyed. Like, that just blew me away. I had probably known, well, I'd known for a couple weeks at this point. It just made me sad. Like, I've had 2 miscarriages in the past, and I was like, no, not again. And I remember actually saying in my prayers later that night, Lord, no, you can't give me a surprise baby and then take it away. Don't do this to me. I want this baby so badly. And I just spent so much time over the next week praying hard for a little baby. So what my midwife told me was, let's not panic. We're going to start with just running your HCG levels, 48-hour HCG levels, and depending on the results of that, we'll see if we go in for another ultrasound. So we did the 48-hour HCG levels. I got the first one back. It was high. In fact, I've never seen HCG count that high because I've never gotten tested that far into my pregnancies. And then 2 days later, the results came back. They had gone up, but they were not doubling. So based on my history and what I know personally from the past and my miscarriage experiences, I automatically thought that this meant baby was not viable and I was going to lose this pregnancy. And I found out about this, like, I got that email that my test results were in during Nina's birthday party. So I've mentioned Libby and Bruce in my previous video. For anyone who's new, Nina is my stepdaughter. She is our oldest child. She is almost 16 now, and that would have been her 15th birthday party. She does not appear in my videos very much. I don't talk about her very much, and that is because due to her own desires. Like, she does not want to be featured very much. If she does pop in, that is her own choice, but in general, I leave her out because she wants to be left out, and being 15, almost 16, she is old enough. I will respect those wishes. But anyway, so it was the middle of her birthday party when I got the email that the results were in. I know I should have waited till after the party, but if you've ever been waiting for results like that, I just wanted to know. So I opened it, like, she and her friends were out in the other room, I was in the kitchen. I opened it, and I saw, like, it had only gone up by maybe half. I think it was by half instead of fully doubled. And my heart dropped. I was so sad. But, you know, it was the middle of my stepdaughter's birthday party, so I had to pull it together. I showed them to Anthony when he got home, and he just encouraged me to wait to hear from the doctor, which I did. You know, obviously, I mean, I felt sad, and I thought I was going to be, you know, I was losing the baby. And then when the midwife called, basically what she said was, they are going up, so they aren't falling. It's not an active miscarriage. Let's get you in for another ultrasound. Excuse me. So I scheduled an ultrasound appointment. The earliest I could get was, I can't remember if I got the next day or 2 days. I know it was no more than 48 hours after I got that phone call from my midwife. So I go to the ultrasound, and I remember Anthony was out in the car with Bruce and Libby. Is at this lab where they were sending me, which is actually fairly close to my home. I couldn't take the kids in with me. In fact, the only ultrasound place I've ever been able to take the kids in with me is my midwife's office. So he was out in the car with the kids. I went in by myself, and the tech, she got me on the table, did the whole thing. She had the screen turned towards her. She said she would, turn it back once she had gotten a full picture, and she confirmed the reason I was there. I told her it was because my midwife had not seen a fetal pole in the sac. So it felt like forever. It literally felt like forever that she was just moving the wand around, looking at the screen, not saying anything to me. When she finally, it was probably actually only a couple minutes, but it felt like forever. She finally turned the screen back towards me, and was like, well, good news is, there's the sac, there's the fetal pole. You have a healthy baby. That's when I actually started crying. I was like, oh my goodness, thank goodness. Thank goodness I have a healthy baby. She said, and then she followed up with, but I do see what your midwife saw. And I was like, what? She's like, there was a second sac that was empty. And so what she told me probably happened, and my midwife did confirm it, I successfully got pregnant. I ovulated 2 eggs. I got pregnant with 2 babies, and one did not develop. And the one that did develop had probably implanted a little later than the first one, and was not visible yet on the ultrasound. It was still too early, which based on when I ovulated would have made sense. So it just blew me away that I was happy and sad. I had a healthy baby. I was going to have a full pregnancy, but I also lost a baby all in one. So it was kind of hard to process emotionally. And going back out to the car, I got on with Anthony. He's looking at me. He's like, well, and at first I just showed him the ultrasound picture. I was like, well, good news is we have a baby. I am pregnant. And so he was relieved as well about that. And then I told him about the undeveloped twin. And yeah, he actually looked at me. He said, I don't really know how to feel about that. He's like, I'm sad that we lost another baby. But to have one surprise baby is enough. If you'd come out of there and told me we're having twins in 9 months, it's like, I think I would have screamed and cried at the same time. It's like, yeah, I probably would too. Going from 3 to 5, 3 to 5 would have been a lot. Going from 3 to 4 is enough. So unlike at the end of Libby's pregnancy, where I was still having crazy desires for another baby, active baby fever, I would definitely say that this time I have not had any of those urges. I am very happy with the children I have, and I can definitely say our family is complete. If we ever did get another miracle baby, Lord, I don't think I could physically handle another pregnancy after how hard this last one was. I would do it. Any child is worth a hard pregnancy and recovery, but it would be hard. So I'm kind of glad we got the permanent birth control put in place, so that will be happening. And yeah, very happy with our little family. Well, not so little. I guess 4 kids is not really all that little. Moving on to the next video, I think I'll probably be talking. It'll probably either be the house tour video or the video where I'm talking about pregnancy test progression. Since I did, one of the things I have always done in my pregnancies because of my miscarriages, even before my miscarriages, even my first pregnancy with Bruce, I did this. I used the little cheapy pregnancy dipsticks to track the progression of the line, and of course first response. I know that's crazy expensive, but it's just reassuring to me to see that line getting super, super dark and the reassurance. So I had the test. I actually filmed the video, so I'll be filming this in retrospect, looking back on the time. And this was in between the time I found out I was pregnant and the whole ultrasound debacle of finding out I originally had 2 babies. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this bit shorter video. Come back in a couple days. I'll be honest, it'll probably be the pregnancy test video. And I will switch to the house tour the following week and talking about, like, maybe do like 1 or 2 videos of like my normal content of house cleaning and housekeeping. and then get back to pregnancy content. But either way, I hope you come back. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Love y'all. Bye.